just have a special introduction now. One of Frank's oldest friends, Herbie Hancock, is here, and this topic made me think about, like, Herbie would have a very good point of view on this topic, so I just wanted to say, would you like to have
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Because I just got here, I realized that probably a lot of things that you've talked for quite some time about several topics, and forgive me if I'm mentioning something that's already been mentioned. But one thing that occurred to me is that everyone is creative. I mean, there aren't kids that were like, some are creative and some aren't. No, they all are. You know why? Because they're human beings. Every human being is creative. You know, so once we have that realization in our own perspective, then and we look at every human being, no matter what their age is, no matter what their background is, as a creator. That's what we do. That's what we do as human beings. We create. That's what everybody's trying to do in this room. And everybody has the capacity to not only learn, but to teach. And that is supposed to stay with us throughout our lives. But sometimes we get the attitude where the teacher is the know-it-all. And the student is just trying to learn, you know, kind of looking up at the teacher like, that person has all the information and I have none. That's very destructive to the creativity of the student. You know, teachers always have to realize they're students too. Now, I'm sure that many of you realize exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't think that can be overstated. You know, so with that kind of attitude, I think that will help provide the kind of atmosphere that you can generate in order to stimulate the creativity of all of the students, not just the ones that we think are creative, or, you know, because they really all are, and it doesn't matter what their particular interests are. You know, and help them to make new discoveries, help them to break the rules. That's the most important thing, and it had just occurred to me, actually, in the past few months, that the people that we study in school are not the ones that follow the rules. We don't know who followed the rules because they haven't made any dent in anything. The only people we study are people who broke the rules, set new rules. So that means that every human being has the capacity to do that. You know, if we only provide an atmosphere where people follow rules, we have completely failed. We have to provide an atmosphere where people are interested in trying to find a new perspective. You know, anyway, those are just some things that occurred to me. Even though I started playing piano when I was 7 years old, my first major in college was electrical engineering. And I did that for a couple of years, then I changed to music. Yeah. I took the more difficult road, and it turned out, you know. So, but the whole idea of young people not being interested in science, I mean, look, I'm a geek, so I love science. But it was very disturbing to me to find out that young people, you know, in America anyway, and maybe other countries too, are not interested. A lot of them don't seem to be interested in science and math. And when I'm traveling throughout the world, one thing that I noticed, because I started thinking, well, instead of complaining about not enough attention being paid toward the arts and we're not getting enough support, I started to think, well, if you can't beat them, how can you join them? And I noticed that young kids, what do they like? Why are they always wearing headphones and earbuds? Because they're listening to music all the time. You know, they use it for everything. They use it for study. I could never do that. They use it for sleeping, for exercise. So obviously, they love music. Well, why can't we use music to teach math and science? You know, so actually, one of my positions is a Goodwill Ambassador for UNESCO, and I actually have mentioned this, but I haven't officially made a proposal, but I intend to make a proposal to UNESCO called Math, Science, and Music. But right now it's a concept, and I think it could be translated into not just interest in math and science, but into other pursuits also. So I just wanted to. That's one of the reasons I'm here, is because I'm interested in how we can take, in my particular case, music, but take whatever kids are interested in, taking that, and it's been mentioned already, taking that and using that to teach the things that they aren't interested in, because there's always a way. I know that in music we talk about half notes and whole notes and quarter notes. It's fractions, you know. And so I've never really looked at music this way until this idea began to formulate in my head. So I've got some people very interested in developing apps in that regard, and there's some. I'm actually teaching a lecture series at Harvard right now, and people from the Media Lab are interested in pursuing this. But I mean, anybody else that might be able to help with ideas in that regard, math, science, and music, I'd love to find out who you are and find out, collaborate with you. Now, there's been interest actually even from people from the dance world about using movement, because when kids are listening to music, they're not just standing still and straight. I mean, the heads are moving, the bodies are moving. So movement is obviously, when we look at TV, we see all these dance programs that are on. So obviously, dance and body movement is very important too. So let's take what they like and teach them what they don't like. But if we can just spark ignite the interest, that's all we need to do. And then they'll take it from there. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.